Your tomatoes and cucumbers are still cranking, and it's hot outside. You're probably thinking, fall? It feels way too early. But if you wait for it to feel like fall, you're already behind. Your planting window has begun closing, and you will miss your fall harvest window. Today I'm showing you what you must plant in August and how to get started before your window closes. So first, is your fall garden window already starting to close? You walk outside now in August, it's 90, 100 degrees out, and you're thinking, there is no way it's time to plant fall vegetables. But here's the key. Watch the weather, not the calendar. You've got two North Stars. First, your weather. Go to weather.com and look ahead at your daytime highs. When you start seeing your highs consistently trending down around 75 degrees or lower, that's when you know your fall planting window is getting close. Fall vegetables are cool weather vegetables and thrive in those cooler temperatures. Second North Star is your first frost date. If you get frost, go to almanac.com, plug in your zip code, and find your first average frost date. That date tells you how much growing time you've got left before the cold really moves in. So take Julie in Michigan. Julie has her first frost coming in October, and her temperatures start cooling into the 70s in September. So she's already starting some fall seeds indoors now. If she waits until September to start those seeds, she'll lose several weeks, and her planting window will be closing fast before that October frost. Now here in Southern California, it's completely different. We may not consistently cool into the 70s until November, so I don't have that frost deadline. So I'll start many of my fall vegetables later around mid-September. If you miss your fall planting window, you don't get those weeks back, and some crops simply won't have enough time to make it to harvest. Now that you know when your planting window is, what should you actually start? Now this is where it can get really overwhelming. You pull up one of those August planting lists and there are 20, 25 different vegetables on it. And you're thinking, wait a second, am I supposed to plant all of these? No, you don't have to. Let's make this easy. Think of your fall garden crops in 2 buckets. And from each bucket, just choose 3 to 5 vegetables you and your family actually want to eat. You do not have to grow all 25. So the first bucket is crops that need a head start indoors. So you want to start with your brassicas, your broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and kale. These take longer to go from seed to harvest. So if you don't get them started early, you can run out of growing time before harvest. If you're about 4 to 6 weeks away from that planting window opening, that is when those temperatures start cooling down, start them indoors now. Remember Julie in Michigan? Her temperatures start cooling down in September, but her first frost is coming in October. So if she starts broccoli indoors now, she's already several weeks ahead by the time it goes outside. But if she waits until September to start those seeds, she's lost those weeks and she may run out of time to get that broccoli to harvest before the frost hits. So what you need to do is count back about 4 to 6 weeks from when your planting window opens. That's when you get your bucket 1 crops started indoors. And getting them started is super easy. You don't have to stress about it. I fill my 6-pack seed starting cells with seed starting mix, plant the seeds, put them under my grow lights, and keep the mix evenly moist until they germinate. And the variety you grow really matters here too. Now here I'm planting Cisco broccoli. I really like this one for fall because it can be ready in roughly 2 months, while some of the bigger, more traditional broccoli varieties take closer to 3 months. Now that alone can save you several weeks and help you get harvest sooner before your window closes. And that's exactly why I put Cisco broccoli in my newly updated fall garden seed collection. There's 16 fall varieties in there, and I choose them with one thing in mind, helping you get to harvest sooner. The next category in bucket 1 is your leafy greens, and this is one of my favorite parts of a fall garden. Now they don't need quite as long indoors as your brassicas, so count back about 4 weeks from when your planting window opens. And look at these here. I started them inside about 4 weeks ago. I've got garden jewel mustard greens, prize head lettuce, rainbow Swiss chard, royal oak leaf lettuce, all from my fall garden seed collection. And I cannot wait to start making fall salads with these. Just look at all these colors together. That is going to be one gorgeous, tasty salad. And the last category of crops in bucket 1 is your herbs. Parsley and cilantro both really like that cooler weather. So these are 2 I always want in my fall garden. I've got forest green parsley and cruiser cilantro here. I love cruiser cilantro because it's slower to bolt, so I can keep harvesting cilantro a lot longer. And forest green parsley is so beautiful. Gives you those dark green curly leaves and keeps growing back after you cut it. And you'll want to start these about 4 weeks before your planting window opens. Now these can both take a few weeks to germinate, so a few tricks to speed this up. Soak your parsley seeds overnight before planting to speed up germination. With cilantro, I crack that outer husk with a brick or a stone to help get it going a little bit faster. And there's just nothing like those fresh fall herbs. Parsley in soups, potatoes, roasted veggies, cilantro on tacos, salsa, rice bowls. And I love keeping both of these in containers right outside the kitchen. When I'm cooking, I can just step outside, snip what I need, and pop right back in and put them in my recipes. Now the second bucket is crops you'll direct sow outside once it cools down and your planting window is open. Think carrots, radishes, beets, arugula, spinach, and peas. Now with these, I like to plant the seeds right in the garden. Carrots, radishes, and beets especially don't like having their roots disturbed, and the others come up pretty quickly from seed anyway. So if it's still blazing hot, like most of us here in August, don't plant these yet. Wait until your weather cools down and that planting window opens. We'll get much more into direct sowing next month when more of us are ready to do it. So now you know what to start indoors and what can wait. But if you're still thinking, okay, Kim, but what do I do next? Well, that's exactly the problem I wanted to solve. Trying to piece your fall garden together from videos, Google searches, seed packets, and random advice online gets really old fast. What I'm about to show you, though, is going to make your whole life a lot easier. This is my brand new Fall Garden Jumpstart Playbook. It walks you through your fall garden step by step. Exactly what to plant, when to plant it, and what to do next all the way through harvest. And throughout the playbook, I put in special CaliKim coaching tools. Weekend missions, CaliKim shortcuts, quick guides, don't make this mistake callouts, and printables, and a really amazing bonus recipe section. So it feels like I'm right there in the garden with you saying, okay, do this first, now let's do this next. So instead of wondering what comes next, you can open the playbook and know. And because it's digital, you can get it right away. You can open it today and get started. I'll put the link right below this video. You can grab the Fall Garden Jumpstart Playbook plus the Fall Garden Seed Collection Bundle, and then you'll have the plan plus the seeds to put it into action, or you can get the playbook on its own. And through Sunday, August 16th, you'll get special launch week pricing. Okay, but now you may be looking at your garden thinking, Kim, where am I supposed to put all this? My garden is still full. Well, if your tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers are still producing, keep harvesting them. You do not need to walk outside this weekend and rip out a perfectly good tomato or pepper plant just because we're talking about fall. While those bucket 1 seedlings are growing indoors, let your summer garden keep producing. And then, when something is pretty much finished producing, that's when I'd pull it and use that spot for fall vegetables. Maybe your cucumber plant is done. So you pull it, clean up the area, add a little compost, and now you've got a spot ready for a fall crop. You do not have to clear the whole garden at once. Just do a little bit at a time. Now, if you still have 6 to 8 weeks of warm weather ahead of you, you may have time to squeeze in one more quick summer crop. Think bush beans, cucumbers, squash, and basil. By this point in the summer, some of these older plants are getting pretty beat up. So if you've still got warm weather ahead of you, start a fresh round. What you need to do in this case is check the seed packet and look at the days to harvest. If it says 45 or 50 days, and you've got about 6 to 7 warm weeks ahead of you, go for it. But just give yourself a little wiggle room, because as we move towards fall, the days get shorter and the temperatures start cooling down, and those summer crops may take a little bit longer to get a harvest. So for example, a crop needs about 8 weeks and you've only got 5 warm weeks left, skip it and save that place for your fall veggies. And if you live somewhere with a long warm season like I do, you may even have time to pop in a determinate tomato transplant for one more round. So here's what I want you to do this week. Most important, number 1, is to find your planting window, because if you miss it, some of those fall vegetables may not have enough time to make it to harvest. Once you know your window, keep the rest simple. Choose a few crops from your 2 buckets. Start your bucket number 1 seeds if your planting window is opening, and get one small area of your garden ready. A little bit of time each week really adds up. And before you know it, your fall garden is planted, you've got veggies growing, and pretty soon you're going to be out in your garden harvesting them. So if you came into this thinking, fall garden, I don't even know where to start, now you know exactly what to do. And the Fall Garden Jumpstart Playbook and Seed Collection Bundle gives you the plan and the seeds to keep going from here, so you're not guessing your way through the rest of the season. Tell me in the comments, what are you doing first? Starting seeds indoors, getting a space ready outside, or squeezing in one more summer crop? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in the garden.